We have another great set coming up, and I think it's one from your region, IceKnight versus Doorstop.
IceKnight, the Greninja, the best Greninja in North America. I'm calling it right now. I'm sorry, Anarchy. I just think that IceKnight is better right now. It's my regional bias. I am well aware. But IceKnight versus Doorstop. And these two play like a good bit. I mean, they're similar region, and they go to a lot of the same events. I think recently Doorstop actually shut out IceKnight. While surprisingly, they've only played once, and it was a fairly long time ago. It was at Frosty Faustings. I thought IceKnight played Doorstop more recently than that, but I guess not.
So, I mean, how do you expect this matchup to play? If you've seen IceKnight recently, ZSS, especially with Greninja, you know, there's not really any out-of-shield options on the side of Greninja. How do you expect IceKnight to adapt?
I would say the idea is that your ground speed is your key, and you have to deal with ZSS's like aerial approaches with Zair. Zair is really the only thing you're massively concerned about. And then, of course, the ambiguous disadvantage state that comes out with flip jump. So those are the things that you have to be paying attention to and the things that you could potentially punish. But otherwise, you're going to be playing your normal linear ground game, looking for dash attacks, looking for down tilts on landings, anything along those lines. And that's pretty much it. IceKnight is so fantastic at turning the tables and the pacing of the game as well. I know we talk about that with a lot of different players, but IceKnight is somebody that can slow it down with Water Shuriken as needed or force their way in with a lot of like aggressive fast-falling nairs. I mean, I think this is going to be a hot set. Let me just say that. I don't have much in the way of predictions for you.
No, but I think you're pretty much on the money. I think one of the ways that IceKnight could succeed. Oh, we have a really big crowd picking up again. Why Delirious?
Why Delirious?
Playing Terry against Shiny Mark. I think it's a close game, but directly behind the stream.
Trying to knock the #1 seed out before top 8 even happens. That one's not on even on stream, so you guys are just going to have to pay attention to start.gg for that one. But man, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's intimidating. You have such a close game already set up, but I mean, this is the winner side that we're worried about. We have IceKnight and Doorstop both on an amazing run. If you look at the bracket, Doorstop took out Chunky. IceKnight actually benefited from the initial game during our set where Sybil took out Shiny Mark, so now IceKnight got to play into the Falco instead of the #1 seed. And so Shiny Mark unfortunately took out Why Delirious. Another Tennessee player falls, but like we said, Sybil helped IceKnight get to this point in winners quarterfinals.
Yeah, definitely. And here's an interesting statistic for you guys. Doorstop actually has a win on Tarek. So that's a surprise. In the last year, it actually went Game 5, but has a win on Tarek. So that's definitely something I'm going to be like keeping my eyes on. Is that going to come into play? How much is that going to matter in the matchup experience? But in any case, we're going to get right into this. I know that IceKnight is hungry for a win after last week going down, losing both games to Onin and Didi to lose Saturday Stadium in the double Steve, where he went Game 5, both times chose to go back to PS2. This is a little bit less traumatic going PS2 against ZSS, but I can definitely tell that IceKnight is hungry for a big change of pace, and some sort of placing would be nice.
Yeah, it seems like Doorstop is playing aggressive, but they're just doing a great job of punishing IceKnight for deciding to swing at them. But IceKnight doing a good job setting up off stage, and there's the Water Shuriken that you were talking about earlier, and just forcing this air dodge out of Doorstop.
You haven't played in a very long time, and I don't know that there's much in the way of ZSS practice in Chicago. Oh my goodness, that might be exactly the issue. Teching in place is such a dangerous situation when you're in the corner against ZSS, because you either have to worry about tech in place or tech roll away. You're going to have to deal with the down smash right in front of you. Or if you tech in, if you roll in, you'll have to deal with the reverse down smash. Both are scary options, and you don't have really a right choice to make right there.
And Doorstop playing extremely well right now, just dancing around this effective range that we keep referencing to on IceKnight. And I think the easiest way they can say that is that they're starting to abuse the nair, just like you said, still living from that up air. So IceKnight having to find a different option. The problem with Greninja, and I think you can attest to this, once you escape a certain percent range, conversions are near impossible.
Yeah. I wonder how much the jab is going to take effect this game, the frame 1 jab coming out from ZSS, and how much that's going to influence how IceKnight plays out of shields or in close quarters.
Yeah, definitely going to have to, I think, play some factor for bailing Doorstop out of a situation they may not want to be in, but more importantly, we can just see a really careful game plan on the side of Doorstop where they're just giving IceKnight the respect they command.
Yeah, and unfortunately, giving plenty of respect to IceKnight is the right choice for Doorstop, where IceKnight has to force an opening here. You can't play too much slower because you're just racking up damage after damage. At 91% on your second stock, and you can't find a closeout as Greninja, you're unable to find down tilts. It's not easy to look for on ZSS, even on landing options, because you have to deal with Zair. Like, you can't low-profile Zair into a down tilt. You have to cross up at best, and you're not finding any of those openings right now. It's so difficult.
Yeah, add in the rage, you're starting to have to look for those raw fares because you can't get those down tilt conversions just like you said. But Doorstop immediately answering 2 stocks to 1. And I think this is the position Doorstop wants to be in. You can play slowly poke at IceKnight using the Zair, but just play around the fact that IceKnight has to aggress.
Yeah. Okay, good drag down right there. Not able to follow it into anything right now, but IceKnight is fully in the driver's seat. Gets hit by the get-up attack for the reversal, but still gets to do a ledge trap, finds the Nair, isn't able to combo into a fair, not high enough percent quite for that. Juggle comes out, still chasing, still scrambling, reversed.
Doing a really great job so far of just setting up these chases and hammering on the offense against IceKnight. Just calling out these defensive options. It feels like IceKnight's a little bit listless.
That's a good option right there, playing it really slow. Neutral get up into the down smash is too scary, but Doorstop was not ready to respond on reaction. Does find that falling back air to close out the game. What's the adaptation?
I think part of it is IceKnight, I hate to say it, you might have to move away from the shuriken. You're trying to play a range game against ZSS, especially with the Zair. You might not win that. You have to wait for Doorstop to finally essentially commit, come in either with fair, something else, maybe even trying to nair you aggressively, and start looking for grab conversions. Make Doorstop afraid to poke at you so they will sit in shield and have to endure some of the better frame data from Greninja.
This is interesting that we're choosing Small Battlefield. So I think any stage besides PS2 and Small Battlefield probably benefits Greninja. You either get the center platform that you can play around, make things claustrophobic for Doorstop so they can't just like back up and look for Zairs. You get to press on top of them or force them to try to approach when you're sharking underneath the platform. Or you go to a flat stage and you get to frame trap for days against ZSS. You can cross up more effectively. You don't have to worry about ZSS landing on platforms. And you can't ban all the flat stages and the single platform stages. So I think that IceKnight is more of an enjoyer of the platform combo route, and that's why he chose to go back to Small Battlefield. But I honestly think you can adjust your game plan and succeed better on a different stage.
Yeah, and one thing that we haven't seen yet, but I would like to see IceKnight implement is off-stage Shadow Sneak when Doorstop is trying to recover in a predictable way. We've seen Anarchy and other Greninjas use this to great effect, so this is something that I could think IceKnight could immediately implement to make Doorstop uncomfortable.
Yeah, uncomfortable is really the name of the game because you can't just force conditioning on ZSS's disadvantage. You have to be prepared to go for uncomfortable or odd options because that's the only way that you're going to catch Doorstop. You can't just condition.
Yeah, and
maybe you can. Maybe you can. I'm sorry I doubted you.
But it's exactly what we want to see from IceKnight, forcing Doorstop off stage, and again, just exploiting the fact that there are only so many options that Doorstop can take to get back to the stage. IceKnight is just playing extremely well, but more importantly, patient.
Yeah. And we are on a more claustrophobic stage, right? Let's be clear. That does benefit Greninja, period. It is better than PS2 on all counts. And we're seeing that because Doorstop can't just back up and look for Zairs. Doorstop has to scramble more often, and IceKnight, you know, being on Greninja, having better frame data, has plenty of tools to deal with those scramble situations. And you get also these platform combos, can't find a tech chase.
Yeah, I cannot agree more with you, man. I think the way that IceKnight is looking to play this is the best way. Doorstop does have to look to close out a stop right now, because at 162, you're just, again, we've talked about rage all day, but at this point, it's just getting harder for Doorstop to find that opening, and letting IceKnight secure an earlier kill. Not a great position to be in.
I don't know if IceKnight was magnet handsing there. I think Doorstop actually saved IceKnight. IceKnight was able to tack on a little bit more damage. We'll see how much that matters, but oh wow, if that was a kill, it definitely would have mattered.
Yeah, it would have absolutely meant
Loves those hydro pump delays.
But I think that's another avenue that IceKnight is just either a hair too early, or Doorstop is very cognizant of, using the hydro pump to force a recovery, and again, good conversion with the fair. You can see IceKnight finally settling into their game plan.
Yeah, definitely settling into playing around Doorstop's disadvantage state. Running up and catching the down tilt has been like a core thing that IceKnight has been able to find more of in this game than the last game. It's led to stocks, and now we've got a big stock advantage leading into some percentage advantage too.
I'm just calling out that shuriken right there, using the the flip jump with the shuriken. I like how IceKnight has the presence of mind to understand that you don't need to go for a flashy option, just get your consistent conversions.
Yes. Absolutely. I think this is a little bit too close to be playing if you're Doorstop, and IceKnight was trying to aggress because it was too close, but the first time that we've seen out of shield up B, Doorstop finds the correct option at the correct time.
Oh man, Doorstop is finally looking for some unique setups now, using the berry. But now, I think we've seen Doorstop finally move away from some of those aerial approaches, but how? Oh no.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think you were 100% on the money. Moving to a small stage absolutely benefited IceKnight.
Yeah.
But if you're in IceKnight's shoes, what are you banning against Doorstop right now?
You're banning if I'm choosing here, you're banning PS2,
yep.
You're banning Battlefield probably, and you're banning Hollow Bastion.
So why Hollow Bastion?
Or maybe Smashville Hollow Bastion. And you're banning, I wouldn't imagine Hollow Bastion being a ban, right? But the only reason I say it is because I saw IceKnight mouth Hollow Bastion. I don't have a reason for you. I just know that he did ban it. I don't know. I mean,
I'm just really good at lip reading. I don't have any logic behind it.
That's exactly right. Like, the platform is small enough that you can still get your combo extensions on it. You get that short ceiling, so your up smash will kill earlier. I mean, I'm not sure what the reason is. And the fact that PS2 is actually left open surprises me. I think that people are so hesitant to ban PS2 because it is such a neutral, theoretical neutral stage, but it's so advantageous for players that can, like Young Link, like ZSS,
yep.
The people that can back up and throw like an aerial or like throw some spacing options at you. We haven't even seen Paralyzer come out, but that could be in play for Doorstop as well. I don't think you go to a longer stage here. I don't think you leave this open.
Yeah, PS2 isn't necessarily always as even as you may think. Think of, like, for instance, the Donkey Kong or the Ike matchup. But right now, Doorstop really abusing the length of the stage to put IceKnight in disadvantage by just constantly choosing a safer spaced option.
I think IceKnight is super comfortable in the double platform stages. A lot of, like, tech options onto the stage, like drag down, up airs, combo extensions in general, have been benefiting IceKnight, and I think that's a comfort pick more than anything else. But I don't know. I agree with you. I don't know that it's the best choice. Falling there into forward air isn't going to quite kill. Going deep for the back air, unable to hit it.
And fake Doorstop out
yeah.
to close out his stock. Really good presence of mind from IceKnight to just essentially fake Doorstop into the air dodge and closing it out.
Yeah, Doorstop burned jump a little bit too early, and so IceKnight went really deep. And did the Hydro Pump catch there?
I think it did.
Okay, you know what? IceKnight is really fantastic at proving me wrong on all of my predictions or all of my thought process. Making PS2 look like the stage choice for IceKnight.
But I think even closer to what you're saying, IceKnight is staying calm and not letting these mistakes rattle him or say, like, get a little bit too amped up.
Right.
I think we're seeing Doorstop realize, oh shoot, I am down 2 stocks early. I have to clear this deficit up. It's 2 minutes off of the board, and I cannot touch IceKnight yet.
Yeah. Forward throw. I mean, you just don't have a kill throw option right now as ZSS, so like you have to just play for position here. IceKnight is planking, just waiting, holding, strong, patiently walking up, but unfortunately I think it's shield poked by the side B there.
Yeah, that was kind of almost inevitable at that point with percentage on the board, but IceKnight just slowly whittling away against Doorstop. This is their game to lose. You have 77% onto Doorstop. Just maintain your ground integrity and force Doorstop into a position where shielding isn't the correct option, and you force your conversion.
And IceKnight is the Midwest king of pace changing, right? Able to slow down the game as needed, back up and use Water Shuriken, or re-aggress as expected, right? So we're seeing a lot of drift aways here where you might expect like drift in, a lot of ambiguous aggression coming out from IceKnight. So Doorstop is trying to force offstage interactions, force over-aggression, but unfortunately, if you're fishing for like a down smash for that forced aggression, IceKnight, again, changing the pace, has backed up just far enough to avoid it and punish it with a forward air.
Yeah, I think IceKnight has done a good job of implementing a game plan, sticking to it, but more importantly, adapting to how Doorstop wants to play this game out. I think if you are on the side of Doorstop, you might need to either consider a different stage or a different tactic. Maybe just go to a little more of an aggressive stance and start trying to rush down IceKnight by grabbing them.
Yeah, we're running it back to PS2. It is the right choice. It's the best option, I think, stage-wise for ZSS. But here's the other piece, right? I think IceKnight is comfortable on PS2 because he's so adept at changing the pace of the game. It allows him the chance to run away, to play around the space a whole lot more. So when it's IceKnight's game to lose, IceKnight will not lose. The issue is if IceKnight gets on the back foot at any point, this is a very, very difficult stage to re-aggress onto ZSS.
I think one thing we're looking at is IceKnight has basically racked up 90%, which is relatively unanswered, but we're still fishing for the down tilt up smash, and it's not connecting yet, but Doorstop is afraid, air dodging out consistently. And IceKnight, next trade, I think that's the stock.
IceKnight is absolutely crazy. I mean, the amount of like drift away forward airs that he gets on Doorstop's like re-aggression off of ledge, trying to go for a reversal, has been fantastic. But here's the issue. IceKnight also likes to go for reversals from ledge too. If IceKnight slows down the pace like that, right, waiting, slowly inching their way back to center, then, again, IceKnight's game to lose. If IceKnight over-aggresses and Doorstop gets the stock advantage, it's going to be a problem.
I absolutely agree. IceKnight setting up off stage, and this is the problem. We've talked about how Greninja does have some issues once these kill percents start to eclipse over the 150% mark. Now, IceKnight, I think, is going to have a really hard time converting outside of a raw fair, or just up throw. Yeah, never mind. I forgot about that one.
I know. I always forget that Greninja does have a kill throw at above 150 on a lot of characters. Now, Doorstop wants to trade the stock back immediately, but IceKnight has to just play very slowly, and you can see the patience off stage, not burning any resources early because he knows that Doorstop was going to have to go for something aggressive. Doorstop does find the aggressive option, the first down smash actually hitting this game, and converts off of it. So now we've reset again. Not IceKnight's game to lose anymore, but it's not his to win.
Yeah, but Doorstop's doing a good job of slowly adapting and figuring out how to play around IceKnight's pressure. I like that we're just floating outside of the range where Bear doesn't necessarily work. So Doorstop is fully utilizing the ZSS kit, but IceKnight just smothering Doorstop in offense.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Doorstop went a little bit too aggressive off stage without having the resources to deal with it. You can only really cover high recoveries like really reliably against Greninja unless you have all of your resources available. I'm talking flip jump, I'm talking regular like double jump. If you don't have those things, then you're going to get reversals really easily, and now Doorstop's going to be afraid to go off stage for chasing low, and IceKnight's going to abuse that, I think, by only recovering low.
Yeah, that makes complete sense to me. I think we will see IceKnight start going low to try and circumvent Doorstop's aggression, but part of this is IceKnight is in a position where these dash attacks can just lead to a pretty much kill setup where, Doorstop circles up with the down tilt. It's a pretty precarious position too because you're essentially dancing on the razor's edge where IceKnight, this is kill percent. You can explode at any given moment.
Yeah, absolutely. 93% is a tiny bit of rage as well. A little bit more damage on Doorstop, you can get a kill. A down tilt up smash would have killed on the platform, but unable to convert. The instant tech does save Doorstop just a tiny bit. You have a little bit more to work with, but this is your winner's side stock.
Doing a really great job so far of just forcing advantage onto Doorstop. Last stock for Doorstop. If you can close out this stock, you can slow play the rest of that last stock.
Gorgeous.
But too little, too late, and IceKnight closes it out 3-1.
That's my goat right there. Chicago on the map. Top 8. Winner's side, IceKnight has secured their spot. Let's talk about the path. Who was in IceKnight's path that was supposed to stop IceKnight? Shiny Mark. Sybil took out Shiny Mark and then had to play IceKnight for who plays Doorstop to get to top 8.
Yep.
Guess what there's a ton of in Chicago? Falcos. IceKnight has all... Look, actually, IceKnight is talking to 2 Falcos right now, Eclipse and Cypher. IceKnight has so much experience in the Falco matchup that Sybil was definitely just a small roadblock, and since Shiny Mark was no longer in the path, it was a more even matchup, right? Doorstop IceKnight is a lot more even than, theoretically, IceKnight, Shiny Mark. So IceKnight finds their way into the winner's side, in a large part thanks to Sybil.